Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Lifelong Learning and Discerning. Today, let's discuss choosing spouses wisely. So, here in this apocalyptic age where we are faced with sudden destruction of so much of humanity and this beautiful created realm that we've come to know in our short lifetimes. So, in these days, it's really important that we have healthy family life. And if we want to have healthy family life, then we must have healthy marital lives. We need to, my grandmother, when I was growing up, she said that it's important to be equally yoked. And she was thinking about it in the biblical sense of a yoke of oxen. So you've got two oxen, and then the yoke, which helps them to do work together, it links them. And then they can plow the land or carry heavy burdens together. And it has to be made correctly, or else the oxen are going to not be able to pull in harmony and pull with collective strength in the same manner. So we need to make sure that we, and she always explained it to me that it's important to have the same religious worldview, the same practices, and I see the wisdom of that. And this equally yoked, the word yoke in English, it's also related. It's similar to the word yoga in Sanskrit, which suggests unifying. It's a unifying factor. So we have to have the same vision of the same understanding of Tawheed in some sense, to be equally yoked, in the same orientation, the same Qibla, the same purpose. And so one of the things that I wanted to suggest about this era and being married that I haven't heard anybody discuss is, if you are awake to the ongoing event and everything that entails, then you've probably been following the research and discussions about shedding. And this is a very important topic that is related to the survival of not only the Ummah, but of humanity. And because there's so many toxins that are being excreted, and poisons excreted into the environment through solid waste, through urine, through sweat, through breath, through things emptied into the water supply that cannot be extracted by a water purification process in a water purification plant. You know, like all the pharmaceuticals that get left into our tap water that we drink from, we cook from, and we bathe in and wash with. You know, we utilize this toxified water, full of fluoride, chlorine, heart medications, mind-altering pharmaceuticals. We need to be very wary of this now, and that's why having a spouse with a similar worldview is very important, and a way of life is very vital. Now, you know, Quranically, you know how we have this discussion about, you know, a pure spouse for a pure spouse, you know, a promiscuous one for a promiscuous one, you know, like with like, we're created in pairs. And, you know, it's kind of like if, you know, I want to just extend this analogy a little bit and think about what we're dealing with shedding. What are the real long-term ramifications of shedding? If shedding is the ability to somehow gas off toxins, nanotech, whatever it might be, you know, spiked proteins into the environment, and then this devil tech, these harmful substances can ride the winds of your breath, or if you're a cigarette smoker, you know, they can ride the cigarette smoke, and they're being gassed off and left all over the place. If there is truth to that, and then maybe the shedding is not real. Maybe it has to do with our inability biologically to deal with heavy you know, radiation, you know, the Wi-Fi radiation that's permeating our bodies and our minds, that's on the rooftops of many of our apartment buildings and on towers all around. So we need to consider all these various alternatives for what shedding may or may not be. So it could be from the Wi-Fi, from the radiation. It could be from what people are gassing off. It could have to do with a number of other things as well, that I'll discuss in future videos. But as far as the shedding is concerned, um, I would say that if somebody is like moving forward, if there really is going to be a mass die-off or large numbers of people getting very sick, and that's why I say that we have to have a healing paradigm all across the world. And I would like to see the Muslimin at the forefront of all things holistic, organic, in terms of healing and medicine and lifestyle. And inshallah, we'll make this transition, because if we don't, we're doomed. And also, for men and women of compassion and mercy and kindness, then how could we not be thinking that healing and cleansing and detoxing is the way to go? That's justice. Justice is not allowing somebody to just die of poisoning. Justice is not allowing the poisoners to just walk free. Justice, it's like if Muslims are to be people of justice, then we must live as such. We must live critically minded, intuitive, mercifully compassionate, kindly. And we need to be able to think systematically and assess situations properly as they really are. We need to read reality accurately. So I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but I wanted to say that if shedding is real in any capacity, then it's very important that we have like with like, that jabbed partners are with jabbed partners, that unjabbed partners are with unjabbed partners. Now, of course, that will have to be verified, because some people are going to lie and deceive if they realize, hey, these people are people who have taken in certain technologies, they are no longer compatible partners for a huge number of very desirable humans. Then some people are going to try to deceive their way in, and then they could harm the gene pool, because if shedding can somehow alter one's DNA, similar to GMO crops, the way that people would plant these GMO crops next to organic crops, and then the wind would blow the seed and the pollen and whatnot from the GMO onto the organic and negatively impact them. Then GMO would grow on the organic land, and then these biotech companies, these GMO companies, could go in and sue them and take their wealth, take their land, strip their dignity from them. Now, by that same token, if that, and that's kind of a form of shedding, when the seed blows from the GMO crops onto the organic, perhaps that's what, and there are patents to suggest that they were developing these that could transfer from one person to another. Then not everybody has to get jabs, which of course is very interesting, because it's illogic if you're thinking in terms of medicine. Like, they're talking about putting stuff like this into food. Well, how could they control dosage? Dosage is literally just out the window then. We wouldn't put dosages with anything. Why? So why are they going to put it in food? Why are they talking about putting it into the air? Why are they talking about putting it into the water? There can only been one reason for that. Have you ever heard of these being organic? Oh, with all organic materials. No. It's always the craziest toxins, and that they will rationalize away. So anyway, let's go ahead and draw this to a close. But we need to consider that because of the shedding possibility, that like needs to be with like, and we may be diverging and moving in two different directions. There are ways that we can harmonize and collaborate and cooperate to a certain extent, but this is going to have to be discussed in more detail. And why are people not discussing these things? Have you considered that? So anyway, until next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.